morning, everyone. Let's get on with today's business. We're live to you from Lagos, Nigeria's economic and financial center. This is your Business Morning, Wednesday, the 4th of July. I am boosting them off, and it's good to have everyone around for the next 1 hour. Let's what's making news now. The French president is making the headlines from Abuja, the country's political capital, to Lagos. And of course, he yesterday met with Nigeria's president, Muhammadu Buhari, to discuss the regional insecurity, the state of the economy, and the various Nigeria-French investments. And the French president also had his officials and Nigeria's counterpart put pen to paper a potential $200 million loan expected from the French Development Agency to fund part of Nigeria's road, rail, and water project. That was early yesterday evening, and later in the evening, the French president was in Lagos to be at the what you call the Fela Africa Shrine, and there he spoke about Africa's culture and entertainment industry as exemplified by the famous Fela Africa Shrine, tracing some of his early days in Lagos, Nigeria's financial capital, about 10 years ago and more. So that's about what we heard from the French president. He's still in the city where we work and live, and today he's holding business meetings in the city, including the meeting with the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and of course Tony Elumelu himself, who is the Afro-Capitalism promoting entrepreneurship across the continent, training and funding thousands and thousands of people with brilliant business ideas across the continent. That will be part of the President Macron's visit to Nigeria. But of course, Nigeria is surrounded wholly by French-speaking countries to the north, west, and the east. So Nigeria is sitting right there in the middle of Central and West Africa, with countries like Mali, Chad, Niger, Cameroon, and of course the Benin Republic, our closest neighbor to the west coast. Of course, we had a very big oil and gas conference in Abuja on a Tuesday, which is the first day of this conference, where we're hosting again the world oil and gas industry. This is the latest of such conferences that Nigeria is hosting over since the year started. It's about a third, where we reveal the state of the oil industry, oil and gas specifically. The State Oil Corporation, the NNPC, uses yesterday's event to speak to a number of issues, and this, grabbing the headlines this morning, is that NNPC is looking to use the debt capital market. There was no clarity as to whether there will be local or foreign debt market to fund investments for oil exploration and production projects. Nigeria has been searching for fresh oil fields, searching for oil in new fields in the Maiduguri, Chad, the Chad Basin, that's Borno State. That didn't end too well some time ago. Then we've moved now to the Plateau, Niger, Benue Basin, still prospecting for oil. A number of such exploration activities and research is still going on within the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and the NNPC together there. So the the NNPC State Oil Corporation chief yesterday, Mekati Baru, says they're going to use the market to fund some of these agreements. Meantime, the NNPC chief says Nigeria has oil financing agreements of about 2.5 billion US dollars that's currently in place, and they will continue to grow our oil production to about 3 million barrels per day. We currently do about 2 million barrels per day, but we look to grow that aggressively moving forward. So what else did we know about that state of the industry yesterday? The NNPC chief also says the outlook for 2018, which is the current year and beyond, is to increase the country's crude reserves by 1 billion barrels, at least on a yearly basis, looking to increase Nigeria's oil reserves from 37 billion barrels to 40 billion barrels. Meantime, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Bekachiko, added his voice to the oil sector, and he spoke to the area of a few other issues, and part of that was he says how we Nigeria are able to utilize whatever we find to immediately crisscross other development sectors of the economy that matters. He was speaking to the incoming of electric cars and perhaps cars using hydrogen and other forms. He says oil will still be around for some years to come, but what is important was how Nigeria is able to use whatever we find in crude oil, what you call the dirty fuel, to crisscross other development and develop them. He says that's what really matters. For now, he believes oil will still be a major use globally. The junior oil minister also, however, raises concerns about the cost at which we produce oil here. Nigeria has one of the highest costs of oil production per barrel in the world.